Welcome to the unboxing, already happened, and range test review of the 100 volt Gotway Monster. So this would be called like a Gen 3. That's kind of where it sits. There's a couple of iterations to the model. They've put dual headlights as opposed to single, and they've changed this sticker here. But the reason we're reviewing it, we've only ever reviewed the 84 volt version and not the 100 volt version. Difference being battery size, essentially. So one's got 2,400 watt hours, which are these here, and the 100 volt has 1845 watt hours. So smaller batteries, but punching out more voltage through the motor. 2,500 watt motor. So how have I been getting on with this one? Well, I've done the range test and I got 28.7 miles till total tilt back. So couldn't ride it anymore. So 29 miles. And don't forget, that is most likely the minimum you're going to get, because it was pushing it to its maximum the entire time with about 70% off-road, 30% on-road. Yeah, it was thrashed. So the range test, we always try and get the minimum figure we can. And I'm probably, with all my kit on and stuff, around about 95 kilograms. So bear that in mind. If you're going sensible speed, sensible terrain, you'll get a lot more out of it. That should be the minimum figure you're going by. People are getting a lot more, but it is less than the 2,400 watt hour version. So on these, including the Gen 3, these are Gen 1s actually, you get about 50 to 55 miles out of it when you're pushing it, and a little bit more if you're taking it a bit more relaxed. But when we did the 1,000 miler, the monsters were the machines we did it on. We did it on the 84 volt 2,400 watt hour versions. So the whole build and everything is pretty much the same. As I say, they've adjusted the headlights. They've got a dual headlight, much brighter, like massively brighter than the old version with a single lens, single light. These have changed slightly, different texture to them, if that means anything, and black foot plates is what we've got. Otherwise, all the other stuff is basically the same. And so it rides incredibly well, as monsters do. So if you're riding on road, typically a lot, and you want to do a 10, 15 mile stint, then this is going to be the one for you to go to work, whatever, come back again. So if you're on the road for a long period of time, this wheel is pretty epic really, because it's got a 22-inch wheel on it. So it covers off a lot of the bumps more than the smaller diameter wheels. So because I'm so used to riding the smaller ones, so 18-inch and below, you get on this, you see a bump coming, you think you're just about to hit it, and you sort of clench yourself thinking, oh, here we go, and this just rides over it because it's such a big tire, and you're like, oh yeah, of course, it's a lot bigger. So it makes a massive difference. And so it just feels, we said many a time before, like a bit of a Bentley type thing. So a nice smooth soft ride, or Rolls Royce, that sort of thing. This is what it's designed to do. So if you want to be carrying this thing round, similar to the Sherman and similar to the other monster reviews we've done, you're not really going to carry this. It has got a switch underneath which you can pick it up, it cuts the motor off, and I used it just a few minutes ago when I rode in and brought it up 2 flights of steps. But I wouldn't want to be carrying it much more than that. 2 flights of steps is pretty much enough. So it's a heavy old beast, but it has got that switch on it. But really, it's designed, you bring out your front door, you jump on it and you ride for an hour or two, pull up to your destination, either charge or turn around and go back again. That's kind of what it's designed to do. The Monster logo written on the side when it's turned on is quite a nice little touch, I think. It adds a bit of class to it. I kind of wish it was on both sides, because some of the looks you get, what is it? You go, Monster. Easy as that then, isn't it? This sticker, not quite as good as the previous version, which actually had a 3D lettering really written across the side of it. That always peeled off, so it's pretty hopeless, but it just looked really good. This doesn't look as good, but also it's got no signs of peeling off at all. So, you know, what do you want? Lacking 2 charge ports. We're starting to get used to now seeing machines with 2 charge ports. It does come with a 3 amp charger, but wouldn't it be ace if you had 2 charge ports like the RS, the Gotway RS that's come out, double charge ports to charge at 6 amps. That would be pretty neat, but nonetheless, charging it 3 amps. And it's got a USB port, and that's pretty much it. So what I did find is I was running the tyre at about 19 to 20 PSI to start with, thinking, because I'm going to be doing quite a lot of off-roading on this, I'll get that balloony effect. Now I found, actually, by inflating it to 32, the recommended pressure on the side, it was better. It rode better. It's bizarre, because I would have thought it would have been a lot harder and it would have hurt a bit more. So you do get the shock travelling through your knees a little bit more, but actually the overall benefits of inflating it, I'm getting more grip in the turn, but also it's not that hard that it actually jolts your teeth out. So that's my tyre pressure for that weight I detailed earlier. It's felt much nicer. Sort of the surface area is increased, of course, slightly by inflating it, so into the corners. But I thought having a softer tyre would have been better. But experimenting around with that, for me personally, I know it is a personal choice, the slightly higher tyre pressure has done me good, really. So range test is done. The next thing to do is to get 250 kilometers on it. Then it'll be a 650 kilometer review. Then it'll be a final 1,000 kilometer review. So if you're watching this, you don't realize we do it like that. That's exactly how we do it. So this one's just an opening to the monster. I haven't dropped it, so I haven't tested its strength, and I'm hoping I won't have to over the next 1,000 kilometers either. They tend to be, you either get away with it. I've ridden monsters for quite a number of years now, over thousands of miles. I've never actually shattered the shell on one, but there's horror stories out there where they do. Now, is a bit of pot luck on that, because if this thing bounces and it lands on this part, so it flips over and lands upside down, exactly upside down, it's going to smash this basically out of the way, because it's a heavy wheel. All that weight suddenly transfers onto there where it shouldn't be, on concrete. So by their very nature, probably not ideal to be throwing down flights of stairs, whereas some of the smaller wheels we sell, the 18-inch and below, they sort of bounce around a little bit, very compact, whereas this has got quite a lot of space inside, so this is hollow in here, etc. It's designed to be a large wheel with some benefits. So it's comfortable on the road, obviously houses that massive wheel. Not only that, these are a lot higher up, so usually you'll be touching about here somewhere, because it's up here, a bit like the InMotion V11 in that respect. It's a high touch point really on your leg. It makes the control incredibly tight, so you can actually, you hit something, you start wobbling a little bit. This is just solid. You regain any form of loss of control almost instantly. So it's very controllable. It's a bit more lethargic in your smaller wheels, so if you want to be going up really steep slopes real quick, probably not the wheel for you. If you want to be commuting around or doing long trail runs, pretty much like I use it for, it's spot on. I would go for the 2,400 watt hour version. The difference between the 84 volt and the 100 volt, it's like basically nothing. Feels hardly anything. And I think where you'd be able to start to utilize this monster more is if you bought the Super Boost pads, which we sell on speedyfeet.co.uk. Remove these and stuck those on there. And what those do, they allow you to push against the side of the pads. They stick out here and your legs slot down. You can then lean in and then grab all that torque that's available. Whereas maximum lean on this thing, you're over-leaning. You're going to fall off before you actually utilize the torque that's available. So think about that, getting some Super Boost pads and putting them on the side if you want to grab as much torque as you can. If you're going to ride it what I would call normally, so you're just commuting back and forward, just treat it as it is. If you want to do mega mileage, you want to be doing 50 miles and above, then you're going to have to look at the 84 volt 2,400 watt hour. So take your pick. This has got a bit more torque than the 84 volt, but you do then really to put side pads on to utilize that. So bear that in mind. At night time, just a quick one, the back light flashes incredibly bright, but there's no mudguard for it. So it doesn't come with one, and there isn't one for it. You can fit an MSX M Super Pro mudguard to it, but you have to drill through the light unit, which I did on my previous one, which is now sold, which we did 1,000 kilometers on, the 84 volt. So you can drill through, that stops that, but the mud does splash at the back, and then of course it covers over that light strip. So you have to keep cleaning that off if you want it to be visible at night. But this thing's been an absolute beast, or monster, should I say. Done some really long straight runs with it, and it's been spot on. So I will report back on the 250 kilometer review and see how I've got on. I don't think it'll be very long until I do that video. So any questions, just comment below and I'll try and answer them. But otherwise, a bit late to the party with this one, but we thought we'd better actually review it because when we sell them, we could do doing a video to let you guys know an honest and open opinion of it. So I will see you on the 250-kilometre review. What's awesome is riding on this stuff, and if I can zoom in, all those, if you want a sound that sounds like a MOSFET blowing, ride over these. Gives you a shock, but oh, was that a MOSFET? No, it wasn't. Nature, gotta love, haven't you?